Hey guys, today I will be talking about daycare and why parents should put their kids in daycare. Now, I have a 2-year-old and he is currently in daycare, and it was one of the hardest decisions my husband and I had to make, and now we are extremely satisfied with the service that they have provided for my child. Now, daycare is one of the largest social controversies of the current time is the parental pressure attached to whether or not a child should attend daycare. While many parents struggle with this decision, others do not have the luxury of choice. Many questions are raised asking if it is beneficial or harmful for infants and young children. Attending to attend daycare. Spending the majority of their waking hours with caregivers other than their parents. There are a lot of parents who believe that attending a daycare can be a positive experience for children, while others claim that daycare might be unsafe. There are many opinions and studies regarding this issue. I strongly believe that going to daycare is the best thing for a child. According to Fox News, they have 6 health benefits of daycare. Now, one of them is less emotional problems. Kids in daycare whose mothers are depressed are less likely to have their own emotional problems, separation anxiety, and social withdrawal symptoms than those who are with their moms or an individual caregiver, according to a recent study in the journal JAMA Psychiatry. The second health benefit is an opportunity to grow. A quality daycare program can spell success in the future, especially places where the teachers know how to handle behavioral problems and where kids are given enough learning and socialization opportunities, stimulation, and affection. Now, I can relate to an opportunity to grow. I mean, my child has grown so much socially, just in every aspect. He's developed so much since he's been in daycare. The third health benefit is less colds later on. According to a recent study in the journal JAMA Pediatrics, the children who were in a large daycare group before 2.5 years of age had more respiratory and ear infections, but were sick less often during elementary school than children who were cared for at home. Now, I must say, my kid has been sick a lot since he's been in daycare, but it wouldn't hurt for him to miss a couple days in daycare. You would want them to miss school, and you would want them to miss daycare and not when they're in elementary school. So that's a positive way to look at it. The fourth health benefit is bigger brains. Studies show that children who are in daycare early on have a higher intellectual abilities, especially because they have the opportunity for observational, parallel play, and socialization. That's pretty interesting. The fifth health benefit is better behavior. One of the biggest benefits of daycare is socialization. Because kids have to learn how to share, solve problems, and be team players at a well-run program with teachers who have a strong educational background. Kids learn to use their voices to solve conflicts. And now, the sixth health benefit is less stress for moms. Now, stay-at-home moms are more likely to be sad, angry, and be diagnosed with depression than working moms, according to a Gallup poll. But for some moms, working isn't an option. But if you think you will be a more calm, happy mom by returning to work, then daycare might be a good option. Now, a couple reasons why I like the daycare, or why I think daycare is a good option for kids is a couple things. One of them is the structure setting. Before I decided to put my child in daycare, I always had this vision of my child going into daycare and just play, 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 and it's not just play, play. They are very structured, especially where my son goes, and I actually have a daily schedule of my son's schedule, and this is basically the activities, what they do, and the times. And they're pretty good at following the schedule, I must say. Even when I do pop-ups, I usually look at the schedule, and like when he first started to attend there, I used to look at the schedule and make sure they were doing what they were supposed to. But I really like that it's structured because it helps him when he will be attending preschool. This year, actually, in September, he will be attending preschool. And it's like, once they go into school, it won't be a shock to him. And it's like, well, everything was structured in daycare. So when he goes into school, it's not going to be a big shocker. And I think it's very important. Another thing that I think why parents should put their kids in daycare is the social interactions that they get at the daycare. And my child's an only child, and I think that when he goes to daycare and he interacts with the other kids, it kind of brings another aspect. As far as like if he's at home, he's just interacting with mom and dad, and he develops friendships, and he just yaps and interacts with the other kids. And I think it's very important for kids to interact with other kids. I think as parents we all agree with that. Another thing that another reason why I think parents should put their kids in daycare is it helps them prepare for school. Like I was saying earlier, imagine putting a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old in school and them never being in daycare. It's kind of one of those things that you just throw them in there, and it's going to be hard for the kid. I mean, they've never been to a school or a daycare, whatever, school setting, structured setting, and it'll probably be tough for the kid. And that's one of the things that I thought of when putting my son in school. I was kind of worried about that future-wise. Another thing that I like about the daycare is the different activities that they do, and especially like for the holidays, whenever there's a holiday coming up, they do all these different arts and crafts. They sing, they dance, they have their little reading corner with their chairs and their books, and it's pretty cool. And I mean, I can do it at home as well, but it's one of those things, like I said, they're interacting with their friends, and it's in a group. Another thing that I noticed my son being in daycare is how he's developed, and it's been amazing. I mean, he's coming home singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, singing his ABCs, and I'm like, whoa, you're only 2 years old. Like, that's pretty awesome. And counting, when we go up the stairs, he'll count 1, 2, 3, and I was like, wow, that's, it's pretty cool. And before he went to daycare, he wasn't there yet, but it's amazing. And that's what happens when you have these great teachers, and that's one of the things that I like about my son's daycare. The teachers are awesome. They're communicate with me every day. We text every day, phone call, hey, how's he doing? It's awesome there. And that's part of just looking for the right one. Now, I know parents might have their own opinions, like I said earlier, and that's fine, but daycare is a good exercise for the children's body and mind, and overall daycare is good for children, and I am happy with my experience, and I hope that you parents out there can agree with me, and I hope that you will put your kids in daycare.